I mean, I think that stems back to 10 years ago when Coach Barnes first got here. Like, we kind of laid out the expectations and how we wanted things to look, and did a pretty good job of kind of building the culture up the way we wanted. It was in a good place before we got here, but those were kind of the non-negotiables that we wanted to see night in and night out. So, no, I think that's they do a good job of trying to do that on a consistent basis, and well, whether or not the shots go in, I think everybody can appreciate the fact that they do get on the floor and hustle and play gritty.
Is that something that you kind of look for, like having that maybe a little bit beforehand, before they even get here, like when you're recruiting players, whether it be from other schools or from high schools? Is that something you guys do?
Sure, yeah, you want somebody that's not afraid of contact and willing to sacrifice their body, that kind of stuff, and even with kids that don't necessarily show that right away, I mean, you can kind of develop that to a point, but it's always nice to see before you bring them in, when you start the recruiting process, that they know that you see that they have a little bit of that in them, and you can kind of pull it out.
Is there, like on this team, obviously you've probably seen this at least a little bit from everybody from top to bottom, but is there anybody that kind of stands out, or multiple people that kind of stand out who, you know, go above and beyond and do those kind of things to, you know, make those kind of plays that maybe not show up on the stat sheet, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have multiple kids that do that. I mean, on any given night, you'll see different players in our rotation that are willing to dive on the floor, willing to take charges, multiple charges in games. So that's something that we always try to talk about to be able to neutralize the other team, and those are kind of energy plays for us too. So everybody kind of, I wouldn't single out any one or two people specifically, but we have a multitude of kids that are willing to do that on any given night.
You know, after the Cleveland State loss, was there any kind of was just disappointment as to how that played out, or was it kind of like okay, let's take this off, kind of move on to the next one kind of thing?
Yeah, both. I mean, we were incredibly disappointed. I mean, we tried to tweak some things and get ready for their style of play, but that only allowed us a day, 2 days to do that. So, I mean, that is what it is. But no, we didn't play the way we wanted to play. It didn't resemble a Youngstown team that we know night in and night out. So, as disappointed as we were, we talked about, like, we need to, like, move on and get ready for what lies ahead, which is a pretty tall task with Green Bay.
Yeah, and they're undefeated in their rivalries. What have you seen from them on film?
They're incredibly balanced. They're very good defensively. They share the basketball. They've got 4, almost 5 kids in double figures. So, I mean, they're the gold standard in the league. Like, year in and year out, they're going to be competing for the top spot in the league. So they've got a lot of veterans out there on the floor. So they pose a challenge for sure.
Is there, like, obviously you guys had kind of a short turnaround last week between the two games, but now between Saturday and, you know, Thursday, you've had, you know, almost 5-6 days, almost a full week to kind of, you know, regroup. Is there anything you guys have been kind of, you know, using this stretch to focus on, work on, and, you know, what have you been kind of?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few offensive packages that we've put in to have extra plays specifically with how they defend you. So that will be nice in its own right. But we spent a lot of time just working on rebounding and trying to defend tendencies and that kind of stuff to get ready for them.
And obviously you guys are primarily a man defensive team, but late against Cleveland State, you guys went to a little bit of a zone. I mean, obviously the game was kind of a little bit out of hand at that point, but going to a little bit of zone, I mean, how did you feel with what you saw from that, and do you think that you'll be able to continue to lean on that at all going forward?
Yeah, I think so. And that was one of the things we talked about in the locker room, that we felt like if there was any kind of bright spot that didn't look too bad against them, they had a little bit of trouble against that. So maybe too little, too late on our part to change things up. But no, I think that's something that we will be able to lean on down the road if it presents itself that we need it.